Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So lots to negotiate on this current video today. Gonna give you the latest news about Harry Maguire, also gonna give you the latest news about Lukaku, and of course these are lots of other things to currently talk about. But we'll of course start with Harry Maguire. So we do know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of course has identified him as his number one defensive target. I have been reading recent reports. A report that says that Harry Maguire, must force a move to Manchester United. This is coming from the opinion of Charlie Adam, of course, who's the former Liverpool man, and all. Charlie Adam has basically said, that Harry Maguire, should force through a move to Manchester United and all that. So this is coming from obviously, his overall opinion, but potentially I do believe, Leicester City's valuation, does seem to be the stumbling block of Harry Maguire, making his proposed move to Manchester United or Manchester City, because obviously, Leicester have confirmed, they want in the excess around £80 million. So they want at least £80 million and all that. Obviously, Manchester United and Manchester City have looked to, to pay up to £80 million for his services. So I did basically say, that the valuation, seems to be the current stumbling block and all that. Obviously, we do know the most expensive defender in the world at the moment is obviously, Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, who of course, Liverpool paid £75 million for back in January 2018 and all that. And I did say in this market at this day and age, I'd probably say around £70 million is reasonable, for Harry Maguire and all that. But I do believe over £70 million, Leicester are asking for too much and all that. So they basically said, they want at least £80 million. But looking at ultimately, Leicester don't want to sell Harry Maguire, and this is the main factor reason, of course, why they are demanding an extortionate amount. This is why, of course, they have priced him out of the transfer market. But Harry Maguire has blatantly, made it clear. He's informed Brendan Rodgers. He's also informed his Leicester City teammates that he does currently want to leave Leicester to obviously rejuvenate his career, and of course take his footballing career to the next level. Obviously, reports did indicate out last weekend saying that allegedly Manchester United had reached an agreement with Leicester. It reportedly said, we agreed a world record fee of £80 million. So he did initially say, we'd pay £60 million up front, with £20 million in add-ons, which does potentially rise it to £80 million. And it allegedly said earlier on this week, I think it was on Monday, that he was set to undergo his medical with Manchester United and all that. So that just got proven. There wasn't any credibility in that. But obviously, reflecting back, was it quite a few weeks ago and all that, obviously it was looking likely Manchester City were going to get a deal over the line for Harry Maguire. I do believe Harry Maguire's first choice preference is Manchester City ahead of Manchester United and all that. Obviously, City are seeing him as a replacement for Vincent Kompany. But analysing it, I do believe Manchester United are willing to pay more than Manchester City, because I do believe, Manchester City are only willing to pay in the excess around £60 million. We want to get him for around £70 million. Obviously, we've had a £70 million bid turned down for Harry Maguire. But obviously, it has confirmed that Manchester United have held several talks with Leicester. Also, Manchester City, of course, have held several talks with Leicester and all that. But I do believe, the valuation, does seem to be, the stumbling block at this current present time. But we do know that Harry Maguire has been relentlessly, linked to move to Manchester United and all that. Obviously, he's a central defender. Obviously, we do need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. I do believe, his transfer to Manchester United, could still possibly happen and all that. But like I did currently say, we've got to get a central defender in, because analysing, we haven't had a world-class central defender, since we had the likes of Vidic, and of course, since we had the likes of Ferdinand, we haven't had a good defence to rebuild on, since we had the likes of Gary Neville, Patrice Evra, Ferdinand, Vidic, and all that. And since that point, we haven't really, had a current defence, to current rebuild on and all that. I think we need at least one central defender. Some people have said, basically we need two central defenders, but obviously analysing it last season, we conceded 54 goals in 38 Premier League games, so that just indicates out, the problems that we've currently got defensively. But like I said, I think we are in pole position to sign Harry Maguire. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified him as his number one defensive target and all that. But we have blatantly made it clear anyway, we're not intending on overspending on our current transfer target. Obviously, so far this summer, we have spent around £65 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, and I do believe both players have got all the ingredients required, to become huge successes at Manchester United. Obviously, we have seen glimpses of Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka of what good signings, they've proven to be so far, because they have done really, really well in pre-season so far. Daniel James, Dan Wan-Bissaka, and without Wan-Bissaka, I do believe, he can be our, he can be our fullback for the next decade. With Daniel James, I'll still say he's a prospect, so I'll still say Daniel James, needs a bit more time to develop. But like I did say, they're both very, very young, and Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, they're both 21 years of age, and it's beneficial anyway, because obviously, they've had experience of playing in England, but we need more than Wan-Bissaka and all that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I do believe, once, he says we're basically, still looking to sign 1 or 2 more players, before this current transfer window shuts. Because there's only now 3 weeks remaining of this transfer window, so we've got to be more competitive. Now, I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recommend an experienced centre-half in. He'll also, want to add reinforcements in that midfield. Regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba, I still think it's initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans to add reinforcements in that midfield. Of course, we do need a right winner. Of course, if Romelu Lukaku does leave the football club, obviously, we're going to need a replacement for him. So there is basically, still lots to currently address in the squad. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say, there has been a lot of speculation, about players coming in. Of course, players going out. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say he's very adamant, that we haven't received any bids for our players, but he also said we don't basically need to sell players. I think we need to probably sell players, to help us generate funds, and of course rebuild the squad and all that. But we basically still need to revitalise the squad, because analysing our squad at this present time isn't good enough. Isn't competitive enough and all that. So we do need to get at least a couple of more players in before this window does currently end. And I did say, regardless of who our manager is, and even if we had a manager to the highest level at this moment in time, they would still struggle, this current Manchester United squad and all that. But I think, we are basically, Manchester United are growing, there's growing frustration around Manchester United, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, because obviously, we've got 2 players so far on the board this summer, but we do need more than that. But there is growing frustration around Manchester United, because obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to get the right players into Manchester United. And obviously, if the Obviously, he wants to, if he doesn't get, the players that he does currently want, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you could say, that the board have currently let him down and all that. And like I said, the board promised, that they would back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this summer and all that. But like I did say with Harry Maguire, he's been relentlessly linked to a move away, with a move to the club. Obviously, reflecting back last summer, our priority, of course, was to recommend a central defender to come in. But obviously, reflecting back last summer, the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in. And obviously, one of the players that Jose Mourinho wanted last summer, of course, was Harry Maguire. I do believe also that Brendan Rodgers has imposed a deadline on potential bids for Harry Maguire and all that. So basically, what Brendan Rodgers is saying is, he's aware that Manchester United and Manchester City have expressed their interest in Harry Maguire. He was talking about potential bids that have been put in there for Harry Maguire. But I do believe his overarching, point of view is, Brendan Rodgers is basically saying, if Manchester United and Manchester City want to get him, they have to be, basically, currently hurry up about. But Harry Maguire, he's well Premier League proven. He is only 26 years of age, so he has still got him a lot of years ahead of him. Plus, he's British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talents to Manchester United this summer. Obviously, we've got 2 players so far on the board this summer, of course, that are currently British and all that. Harry Maguire's defensive abilities are very, very good. He shows that ability, to play out from the back. He's also very, very good in the air. I think his work ethic's in that very, very good. You can't put Harry Maguire in, Virgil van Dijk's calibre or level, but I still believe he's regarded as one of the best central defenders in the Premier League, reflecting on his impressive performances. But I do believe he blended in alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline, fantastically well. Obviously, he's been at Leicester a couple of seasons as Harry Maguire. He's made 76 appearances for them in all competitions. Obviously, 69 of those appearances have come in the Premier League. He did sign a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he is under contract with them until 2023. Obviously, Leicester did pay around £17 million for his services from Hull City. Obviously, if Leicester couldn't lose him, obviously, Leicester are going to want a replacement for him. And reports indicated out earlier on this week saying that Leicester had reached an agreement with Brighton. They'd reached an agreement with Brighton, for Lewis Dunk. He said they agreed a fee around £45 million and all that. But he did say on Saturday of last weekend that Harry Maguire, became infuriated with Leicester, blocking his proposed move to Manchester United or Manchester City and all that. But it has been Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services. I do believe Mike Phelan instructed Manchester United to get a transfer prioritised for him, because obviously Mike Phelan has obviously managed Harry Maguire, during his short tenure with Hull and all that. I do believe Alex Ferguson has instructed Manchester United, to currently get a deal over the line for him. But I do believe if it comes to Manchester United, he will deliver the goods and all that. I think it would be a fantastic signing for the club. Some people say, that midfield and that right wing is actually, they're more essential, of course. I then recommend them essential defender to come in. But there is basically, still lots to currently address in the squad. We basically, do need to revitalise the squad. I do believe, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, recently, spoken about, at the club's ambitions, going on into next season and all that. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does believe, we'll be aiming for further up than fourth and all that. I think probably our expectations going into this season probably will be to finish in the top four. I do believe our aspirations will be that top four in the next couple of seasons, because analysing at the moment, City's strides ahead of us. Obviously, Liverpool and that are strides ahead of us, and it's very imperative that we catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. That is very, very imperative indeed. We do know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, working on bringing the right players to Manchester United who can elevate Manchester United forward. He's also trying to convince his imperative players to stay at the football club and all that. But I did say, we basically, need to sell players, to help us generate funds and, of course, rebuild the squad. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has worked out his transfer strategy. Obviously, he wants to recommend a number of young players to come in this summer that can grow, develop, of course, and emulate into superstars. And I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes he's following a policy that proved successful under Alex Ferguson. I do believe we are moving away from the policy of signing them well-established players, because obviously we've got a history of spending big. A hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club over the last, 5 to 6 years, obviously since Alex Ferguson retired. Obviously, we've had different managers with different philosophies. Obviously, 3 managers have been sacked, since Alex Ferguson's retirement and all that. 3 managers, of course, have, been currently sacked. But like I did currently say, a hell of a lot of money has been spent. And obviously, we spent big money in recent years on, Pogba and Lukaku. We paid 8 to 9 million for Pogba, 75 for Lukaku. We're doing, obviously, Lukaku and Pogba, of course, have both been relentlessly, linked to move away from the football club. Obviously, we have put extortionate amounts on both players. And I did say this could be possibly, the stumbling block of, both players making their proposed moves away from Manchester United. And we do, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative, Lukaku and Pogba are, but I do believe if we could sell them, it will help us with our rebuilding process. It will, of course, help us with our transition, because I do believe if we could sell them both, we could generate around, £200 million for their current departures and all that. But like I said, Harry Maguire, I think he would be the right solution for Manchester United. So his transfer saga, to Manchester United, of course, does continue to currently persist and all that. So we've definitely, got to get a central defender in. Obviously, there has been quite a lot of central defenders on our agenda. Obviously, De Ligt was on our agenda at one point. Obviously, now he's gone to Juventus. Koulibaly, obviously, Napoli are reluctant to offload him, so I'd say he's out of the equation. Obviously, I think the only way we could probably get Koulibaly is if, of course, Manchester United are willing to pay silly amounts of money for him. Obviously, there's still some people talking about Toby Alderweireld, and I think with Toby Alderweireld, I think, based on that, he's, Premier League proven him and all that, and he has proven to be a world-class central defender in his 4-year period there with Tottenham. And looking at it from a financial point of view, Toby Alderweireld, would be a much cheaper solution than that, than Harry Maguire, Koulibaly and all that. But I don't think, I think it's confirmed that, he isn't going to be coming here to Manchester United, Toby Alderweireld, but we've definitely got to get a central current defender in. And I did say to you guys, we do need a couple of new additions in that midfield, as you all currently know. I think, like I said, regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba, we still need to have reinforcements in that midfield. Since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, obviously, we have seen 3 players leave the club. Obviously, we saw Valencia leave the club after he served 10 years with Manchester United, so he was a long-serving player. And we got our replacement for him for Wan-Bissaka, so that right-back position now has been addressed. And Herrera, of course, left on a free transfer, so we're looking for a replacement for him. Fellaini, of course, left back in the January transfer window. And, we've got, quite a few midfielders. We've got the likes of Fred. I'm very, very sceptical about Fred, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't know if he is the long-term solution for Manchester United. I do believe probably the club, to be quite overspent on Fred. I think we paid a bit too much for him. We did pay £50 million for him. Obviously, he's one of our most expensive signs. We did get him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk. But he hasn't really exceeded expectation levels at Manchester United. Under the Jose Mourinho era, Fred never really got the opportunity, to be fair. But I do believe towards the back end of last season, Fred did put some good performances out. I do believe, Fred is gonna definitely get given his chances in pre-season. Obviously, as it's confirmed, he has travelled to Singapore and all that. But he will, currently get given his chance. We've got McTominay, but he's inexperienced at the moment. But like I said, he's going to gain a bit more experience, with a pre-season and all that. Obviously, he's going to get more chances, going on into this season, which is very, very good. We've got the likes of Andres Pereira. Obviously, Pereira himself is going to get, given more chances as well. So looking at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is going to give everybody the chance. Reflecting back when, he came in when he was the interim manager in his first 3 months. Well, he did basically say when he first came in, Solskjaer, which was on December the 19th, he was going to give everybody the chance, the Finch players, the young players and the experienced players, and of course he did currently do that last season well, it was the second half of last season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously, currently came in, but he did currently, give everybody the chance, and of course he's going to be doing that in pre-season, and he will do it, of course, in the Premier League next season, which is very good. With Nemanja Matic, I've got strong concerns about Matic. I think he's too slow. Obviously he's aging up, of course, he isn't currently getting any younger, so yeah, we've definitely got to get a couple of new additions in that midfield. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes' transfer saga, to Manchester United, does continue to currently persist. Obviously, like I did say, I think, Sporting Lisbon's valuation, does seem to be, currently the stumbling block and all that, to be quite honest, because obviously, Sporting Lisbon want around £70 million. Well, actually, I've just read the Daily Mail, and now it reportedly says, we are lining up around a £70 million bid for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, reports indicated out last night, saying that reportedly, we are preparing to put a bid in for him in the coming hours and all that. So I do believe now, we have stepped up our interest in Bruno Fernandes. But for the entire this summer, he's been linked to move to Manchester United, and we are basically all aware of how much we do know Bruno Fernandes is going to improve in that midfield. If he does complete his move to Manchester United, like I did say with the situation with Paul Pogba, that's not having any effect on Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United. So I do believe Bruno Fernandes' move to Manchester United, of course, isn't dependent on what happens with Paul Pogba and all that. But initially said earlier on this week, that we're only willing to pay £50 million for Bruno Fernandes and all that. Obviously, that's too insufficient for Sporting Lisbon, because they want somewhere in the region of around £70 million. Obviously, has confirmed that Bruno Fernandes' agent arrived in the UK. I think he did currently confirm this yesterday. Obviously, he's set to hold more further talks with Manchester United. I think he's also set to hold more talks with Tottenham and all that. But I do believe Bruno Fernandes' agent is obviously looking for the best possible deal for his current client. I do believe Bruno Fernandes has notified his representatives in the past, saying, of course, that he does currently want to join Manchester United, and I do believe he's been negotiating with his agent about a potential move to Old Trafford and all that. But like I did say, I've increasingly become frustrated, with the Bruno Fernandes transfer saga and all that, because I do believe it's been going on for too long now. Because I thought would have had the deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes by now, but we have been negotiating about a fee, for quite some time now with Sporting Lisbon. But Manchester United, of course, have held several talks with Sporting Lisbon. But I do believe if he does make the move to Old Trafford, reportedly we're set to pay him around 5.5 million a year. Obviously, that does equate to around 100 grand a week. And reports indicated out the other week saying that Bruno Fernandes was seduced by this current offer and all that. He's 24 years of age. He's primarily an attacking midfielder. Is Bruno Fernandes. But him coming to Manchester United, he rejuvenate the team. He'll bring us them goals that we need in that midfield. He can also create chances as well. And he has proven this in his 2 years in Portugal with Sporting Lisbon. He scored 32 goals. Was it in all competitions last season, or was it 31? One of them. His initial release clause is around £88 million. Obviously, Manchester United are not determined to go near that figure. Obviously, we do know that he signed a 5-year contract with Sporting Lisbon last summer, so he is under contract with them until 2023. Obviously, spent the majority of his career, of course, in Italy, when he was younger. But let's be honest, Sporting Lisbon, haven't, been reliable, this summer. Going back, was it 8 or 9 weeks ago, they're sure he was going to be going to Manchester City, Bruno Fernandes. But obviously, as it had confirmed, Manchester City, of course, had withdrawn their interest in the current player. Like I said, Liverpool, of course, have been in there for him. But I do believe, the valuation seems to be the stumbling block. But now, reportedly, the Daily Mail have said, we are lining up a £78 million bid for him. It did indicate out earlier on this week saying that the board had concerns about Bruno Fernandes, and they had concerns of also Manchester United spending quite a substantial amount on a player that really hasn't got the experience of playing to the highest level, because he has got the experience, Bruno Fernandes, but he hasn't really got the experience of playing to the highest level. And the board did basically say they do believe he's currently too expensive, and it said Ed Woodward, of course, had said no to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes. But yeah, I just want us to get, this current deal more of the line for him and all that. If we were to get Harry Maguire, before Bruno Fernandes, would this have any effect on Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United and all that? Because obviously, we're going to have to pay an extortionate amount for Harry Maguire. Obviously, Leicester are currently playing hardball because they want more. They're demanding £80 million or 85 million, is it? And Manchester United, of course, are not willing to currently pay that. But like I did say, Bruno Fernandes obviously being one of our priority targets and all that. But yeah, his agent has currently arrived in the UK. I do believe his agent was in the UK allegedly a couple of weeks ago again, to allegedly thrash out a deal with Manchester United and all that. But I think we've been considered the favourites to sign Bruno Fernandes at least for the last 3 to 4 weeks. But Ebola basically said yesterday, the Portuguese press, they said now we are preparing to put our first bid in for him. I don't think we've actually put any official bidding for him yet, so this will be our first formal bid. We do put in for Bruno Fernandes, so it probably is going to be around £70 million. We are willing to currently offer the player. Obviously, the news about Romelu Lukaku, I do want to currently, give you an update on. Now, I do believe his move away from Manchester United, seems to be close, to be quite honest. Just like Harry Maguire to Manchester United, is close, but obviously, no feet has yet, come to an agreement. So, obviously, we do know Lukaku has been relentlessly, linked to move to Inter Milan. Obviously, as I did update you this morning when I did do my Manchester United and Inter Milan preview and all that, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed that Lukaku is not going to be playing tomorrow against Inter Milan. He has admitted, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that Lukaku is struggling with his fitness and all that. But yeah, like I said, I think Lukaku, does currently wants to leave the football club. Obviously, Lukaku did confirm this, was it last week and all that, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had held talks with Romelu Lukaku, pleading him to stay at the club for one more season. And I did say, Solskjaer, wants him to remain at the club for one more season. Even though initially, Lukaku has lost his place in the team. And I do believe the main factor reason why Lukaku wants to leave the football club, because obviously, he's surplus to requirements, and I think Lukaku's unhappy the way that he's been treated in the last 6 months since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice preference has been Marcus Rashford ahead of Romelu Lukaku. But for the entirety of the summer, Lukaku has been speaking about his proposed move to Inter Milan. Obviously, he does want to play under Antonio Conte's guidance, but Antonio Conte has come out in the media and he has admitted, of course, that he does currently want to sign Romelu Lukaku and all that, because obviously Antonio Conte has identified him as his number one target. Obviously, reflected back a couple of years ago, Antonio Conte wanted Romelu Lukaku, but obviously, he ended up making the move to Manchester United. But at the time, Antonio Conte wanted him a couple of years ago, of course, at the time, Antonio Conte, of course, was the current Chelsea manager and all that. But I do believe for quite some time, should I say, that, our valuation, seems to be the stumbling block and all that, of Lukaku make his proposed move to Inter Milan, because obviously, we've said one around, 75 or 80 million pounds. So basically, we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for Lukaku a couple of years ago from Everton, or we even maybe orchestrating, getting a little bit of a profit and all that. And obviously, the fee has seemed to be proven problematic for Inter Milan. Obviously, Inter Milan have tried offloading, a couple of their players, to help them generate funds. To me, that 75 or 80 million pound valuation, I do believe they're under financial fair play restrictions as well. Are into Milan. But yeah, Antonio Conte has identified Lukaku as his number one target. Obviously, reports did confirm last week that Inter Milan sporting director had travelled to London, to obviously hold negotiations with Manchester United and all that. I do believe Inter Milan had made a 2-year loan offer worth around £9 million up front. With then the obligation to buy for the further £54 million at the end of the loan. But obviously, Manchester United hadn't entertained this offer because we're only willing to let Lukaku go, of course, on a permanent deal. And obviously, we've blatantly made this clear and that to Inter Milan. Obviously, Inter Milan have obviously we're willing to accept swap deals that Inter Milan, of course, have offered us. But now, reportedly, Inter Milan are willing to meet our £75 million valuation and all that. I think some reports have actually indicated out now saying that we weren't close to the region of £90 million, because actually, it was £90 million we got Lukaku for. Well, it was initially £75 million fee we did pay for him, but there was actually several add-ons, including a deal of £15 million, which did potentially, rise it to around £90 million. But Inter Milan reportedly are willing to meet that valuation now, what we're currently demanding. Obviously, Inter Milan still want payments to be structured, so reportedly they're willing they're guaranteed to spend, £60 million within the next, 3 years. So reportedly Inter Milan are willing to pay, £40 million up front and all that, with the £20 million, to be structured over the next 2 to 3 years and all that. And it did say, there was going to be bonuses included in the deal of £15 million, depending, of course, how Lukaku, does perform at Inter Milan. So they're willing to meet our valuation as long as, bonus payments, of course, are currently included and all that. This is what, it basically said. But Lukaku, anyway, does want to play under Antonio Conte's guidance. Obviously, he probably believes he'll flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance. And Lukaku, of course, did recently describe Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world. But actually, Lukaku's agent, Federico Pastorella, he's held several talks over Inter Milan. He's been, he has held several talks with Inter Milan. He came out the other week, did Federico Pastorella, and he basically said that Inter Milan are desperate to sign him. He also said he did classify the move as complicated, based on the extortionate amount, we have currently put on him. And I do believe, we did overspend on Romelu Lukaku. I do believe, we did currently, pay too much for him and all that. But quite a few people said, this summer anyway, we should be currently sensible over our current recruitment. And I think we have been pretty wise with it, this summer. We've spent £65 million on 2 players, which I do believe is reasonable. And I think, Daniel James, £18 million is a cheap solution, compared to what we've played for the likes of Lukaku and Pogba and that in recent years. But like I said, with Lukaku, he's been at the club 2 years. He's, to be fair to Lukaku, I'll credit him for this. His goal scoring pedigree is very, very good. He's well proven and that in the Premier League. But you do know I've got strong concerns about him. He scored 42 goals in 96 games for the club, like I said, in all competitions. He's been here 2 years. He was exceptional in his first season with Manchester United. Of course, didn't really replicate this form, of course, in his second season. But Lukaku has confirmed, that he does currently want to leave the football club. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed anyway. He has spoken to the vast majority of our players this summer and all that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I do believe, he's still keen, keeping Lukaku at the football club. But for the majority of the summer anyway, we've been working on, trying to get rid of Romelu Lukaku. I did say if we do sell him, I do believe, we are going to need an adequate replacement for him, because I know people are saying, we've got the likes of Mason Greenwood and all that. Obviously now he's assured, more playing time, going on into this season and all that. As Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed, he's going to get promoted into the first team as Mason Greenwood. He has done really, really well in pre-season so far. Obviously did really, really well in the reserves and that Mason Greenwood. So I do believe he'll probably exceed expectation levels at Manchester United, but he's still inexperienced at the moment. Obviously we've got Chong and all that. He's done well in pre-season, but I still say he's inexperienced. You've got the likes of Rashford and Martial and all that. But I just don't think, they've emulated to that level yet of Rashford and Martial. It's probably going to take them a year or maybe in a couple of years, to get them to that level where they do currently want to be. So I do believe we're going to need a replacement there for Romelu Lukaku. But there has been quite a few players mentioned, who could replace Romelu Lukaku at the football club. So one of them players that's been spoken about, is Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang from Arsenal. Now, it has been coming out about Aubameyang in the last couple of days. I actually updated you about this last night, saying that reportedly, Manchester United have submitted around the £62 million bid for Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang. The story is about Aubameyang to Manchester United, started around was it 4 or 5 weeks ago and all that. Obviously, this actually all stemmed from Andy Goldstein, who is the presenter of TalkSport, and he actually said Manchester United are interested in signing Aubameyang. It was saying that he allegedly agreed to transfer to Manchester United, and reportedly did say we was willing to spend in the excess of around £70 million on his services. So reportedly now we've lodged around the £62 million bidding for him. Obviously, like I said, the club are identifying him as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku, and I do like Aubameyang a lot. I've always liked Aubameyang, especially during his Borussia Dortmund days and all that. I think he's obviously based on his experience as well. I think he would be beneficial for Manchester United. He's obviously his goal scoring pedigree is absolutely fantastic, and also Aubameyang has got that proven pedigree, of course, as a central striker. Because obviously Aubameyang is predominantly a central striker, but he can also play out wide, so he can play on the left, of course, and he can play out on the right. And I would be excited, about the prospect of, linking Aubameyang up, with the likes of, Rashford and Martial and all that. And I do believe, he would blend in my line, fantastically well. His distribution's good. He's good in the air. He's got that endless potential and all that. So yeah, Manchester United reportedly put around the £62 million bidding for him. Obviously, he has been at Arsenal since January 2018. I do believe Arsenal are open to selling the player, because obviously Arsenal have got a tight budget this summer. They've only got around £40 or £45 million to spend. So I do believe Arsenal are open to selling the couple of their essential players, to help them generate funds and, of course, rebuild their squad and all that. And I do believe, Arsenal have got quite a few players on the board so far this summer. But I do believe Arsenal would look to at least, should I say, recoup the initial £56 million that they did pay for him from Borussia Dortmund back in January 2018, because obviously Arsenal played a club, a club record fee for the player and all that. But he has exceeded expectation levels at Arsenal. I do believe he won't be signing a new contract with Arsenal. Obviously, he's got 2 years left on his contract with Arsenal. Obviously, he's age 30 now, he's a Aubameyang, so of course he is currently maging up. I do believe he's also been linked to move to the Chinese Super League. I think reportedly he'd been offered around 300 grand a week, to go play in China and all that. So there was rumours going on about currently that before. But yeah, his goal scoring pedigree is absolutely fantastic. As a Aubameyang, last season scored 22 goals in 36 Premier League appearances for Arsenal. Obviously was joint top goal scorer alongside Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah, and obviously won the Golden Boot. And I think he scored 31 goals in all competitions for Arsenal last season, did Aubameyang. So reportedly now, we've stepped our interest up in Aubameyang, and reportedly, it says we've lodged around a £60 million bidding for him and all that. But I think this is an offer that Arsenal, will not reject him and all that. So yeah, mate, I said before I didn't think there was a lot of credibility, in Aubameyang, coming to Manchester United. If I was honest with you. But yeah, there has currently been a lot of talks about that going on. But like I said, his move to Manchester United is dependent on anywhere, of course, and what happens with Romelu Lukaku. So I think we're willing to bring a striker in, of course, if Lukaku does leave the football club. Obviously, people have been talking about, Wissam Ben Yedder from Sevilla. I do like Wissam Ben Yedder. I think, again, based on his experience, he would be beneficial for Manchester United. 28 years of age is Wissam Ben Yedder. Obviously, he's been with Sevilla in Spain, for 3 years. Like I said, his goal-scoring pedigree is very, very good. Obviously, he does lead the lines fantastically well. I think his initial release clause is around £36 million in his contract with Sevilla. I still believe he's got 2 years left on his contract with Sevilla. But he come out about stories about this the other week, saying that Manchester United, of course, were in for him. But he did say Wissam Ben Yedder's move to Manchester United anyway is probably dependent on what happens with Romelu Lukaku. So probably, he would be a good current replacement. There's people talking about, Moussa Dembele from Lyon and all that. Only 22 years of age. Obviously had a really, really good season, last season, with Lyon, did Moussa Dembele. Obviously, last season was his debut season in France and all that, and he has proven he can score goals, he can create chances. Obviously, Lyon got him last summer from Celtic for the round, was it £20 million, or just under £20 million, because before he was at Lyon, he did have 2 good years in Scotland. I think initially when he was younger, he actually, began his senior career with Fulham, to do Moussa Dembele. I think he's reportedly rated from around, 40, or rated from 40 to 50 million pounds and all that. So yeah, people have said, we should get him in as a current replacement. Some people are talking about Mario Icardi. Some people say Paul Dybala would be a good replacement for Lukaku. But if he does leave the football club, we're definitely going to need a current replacement for him. Obviously, as I've been updating you in regards to Paul Pogba and all that, obviously, with Paul Pogba, I think he could now be staying at the football club, Paul Pogba, based on the extortion amount, we have currently put on him. But we're very, very adamant anywhere that Paul Pogba, of course, is not, currently for sale. He did say, would accept a bid in the region of around £150 million. But actually, more additional information did update last weekend, saying that now that reportedly, we'd risen our asking price up to £180 million. So reportedly, we are demanding double than what we initially paid from Juventus, back in 2016, because of course we did pay £89 million for his services. I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has held talks with Paul Pogba in regards to his long-term future, and I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is basically doing everything he can to try and convince Paul Pogba to remain at the football club and all that. And reflecting back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first press conference, before the Perth Glory game and all that, he was talking a lot about Paul Pogba, and he's been talking about him as well, quite recently, praised him and not saying he's a fantastic player. He has got the heart of gold. Obviously, Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, obviously, came out the other week, and obviously, he said Paul Pogba's process, leaving the club and all that. But Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has been in the process of finding Paul Pogba a new club, at least for the last 2 to 3 months, maybe even longer than that. Because obviously, Paul Pogba's blatantly made it clear anyway that he wants to leave Manchester United. Obviously, this got the reports indicated out last month saying, Paul Pogba's seeking for a new challenge. He publicly admitted, that he wants to leave Manchester United and all that. And he even did say at one point he was even willing to go on striker Paul Pogba. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say, he has revealed he has considered Paul Pogba for the captaincy at Manchester United next season in a bid to convince him to remain at the football club. Obviously, I think our current captain at the moment is Ashley Young. I do believe Harry Maguire, has demanded, to become the captain at Manchester United. Of course, if he does get his move to Manchester United, currently completed. But reportedly, Paul Pogba could be given the captaincy, permanently, going on into this season and all that. I do believe we're reportedly set to open contract talks with Paul Pogba again to try and convince him to remain at the football club. Paul Pogba's got 2 years left on his contract with an option to extend by a further year, and he is on around 290 grand a week. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's basically said, Manchester United, can rebuild rebuild around Paul Pogba. This is what he's basically said, and he's also said basically that Paul Pogba does not need to leave the football club, to fulfill his current ambitions and all. So probably Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, still believes he will succeed at Manchester United, even though Paul Pogba hasn't been the player, or he hasn't lived up to expectation levels as we all thought he would have done, because Paul Pogba, did have 4 good years in training, don't currently forget he exceeded expectation levels, but he hasn't really replicated this, since he did, make the return to Manchester United and all that. Since he did make the return to Manchester United and all that, but like I did currently say, we do know Paul Pogba's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. He's obviously been linked to a move to Juventus. Obviously, has been battling out for his services. Obviously, I do believe for quite some time Paul Pogba's first choice preference has been Real Madrid, and of course his likely destination has been Real Madrid and all that. But obviously, Real Madrid are not willing to pay £150 million. I do believe Real Madrid are trying to offload a couple of their players, to help them generate funds to meet that £150 million valuation and all that. But I think Real Madrid, are still desperate, to include Gareth Bale in their bid, of course, to sign Paul Pogba. But I do believe his first choice preference, of course, is Real Madrid. Obviously, Real Madrid themselves so far this summer have got 5 players on the board. Obviously, they spent over £300 million pounds. Obviously, I think Paul Pogba is keen on playing under Zinedine Zidane's guidance and all that. But Real Madrid have confirmed, they're not keen on a straight cash payment. Obviously, you've got Juventus. Obviously, they've set their interest up in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Obviously, Juventus have held their negotiations with Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola and all that. Obviously, Juventus themselves have done good business this summer, so more than likely, Juventus would have to offload 1 or 2 of their essential players anyway, of course, to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because I just don't think, Juventus, would be able to afford him outright, because Juventus paid a substantial amount for Ronaldo last summer. Obviously, they've now got De Ligt on the board, I think, so they've paid quite a bit of money for him. Obviously, they've got Adrian Rabiot, they've got Aaron Ramsey, so they wouldn't be able to afford Paul Pogba outright. But he did have 4 good years in Juventus, like I currently said, but he has been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously, it was the similar sort of thing last year. He was linked to a move away from the club. Obviously, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho, and of course, Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes, of course, when Jose Mourinho left the football club. Obviously, Paul Pogba with Manchester United has won the Europa League and the League Cup. Obviously, that came in his second season and that with the club. Obviously. But yeah, he hasn't really been the player as well I thought he couldn't would have been. But maybe he's probably unhappy at Manchester United. He's probably he believes he's probably not playing amongst good enough players and all that. He's probably frustrated that we're not in Champions League football. He's probably also frustrated there with lack of competitiveness. So maybe these are the couple of main factor reasons why, of course, Paul Pogba, of course, wants to leave Manchester United and all that. But still 26 years of age. In his prime, he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But actually now Paul Pogba, could remain at the football club. And I know how much of an imperative player he is, and we have seen glimpses of his best form. He's started pre-season, really, really well as Paul Pogba. I know he was poor since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did get the job in March. Obviously this was last season. Now I think since he got the job, Solskjaer, Paul Pogba, has been, when he got the job full time, I think Paul Pogba has been really, really poor. But I think in pre-season he started, really, really well. We saw the best of Paul Pogba in that 3-month period, of course, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. That's when we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba. But still believe he could, possibly stay at Manchester United and all that. But like I said, there's been quite a few tags on our agenda, who could replace Paul Pogba and that at the football club. Obviously, there's been a lot of talks going on about that Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio. Obviously, there was a lot of talks about him, currently going on last week and all that. And, Sky in Italy, did report outside that report, we put around the £70 million bid in for Milinkovic-Savic and all that. Oh, sorry, £72 million, should I currently say. But obviously, this is too insufficient for Lazio, because obviously Lazio are looking for somewhere in the region of around 98 £90 million. Obviously, whether Manchester United are willing to pay this £90 million figure or not, I do not know. But obviously, we have got to pay an extortionate amount for the player. Initially, Lazio have lowered their asking price because reflecting back last summer, I think it was, Lazio were demanding in the region. There was demanding that they wanted in the region of around £108 million. So obviously, that's over £100 million there. But reportedly, we've put around £72 million bidding for him. More than likely, Lazio are going to turn this down. Milinkovic-Savic is 24 years of age. Of course, he is Serbian. I do believe Manchester United have held their talks with Lazio over getting a possible deal finalised for the player. And I do believe Milinkovic-Savic's agent had travelled to the UK, was it last week? And I do believe Manchester United, of course, have held talks with his agent. Probably Milinkovic-Savic to Manchester United anyway. It's depending on what happens with Paul Pogba, because I think we're only willing to get a transfer prioritised for Milinkovic-Savic. Of course, if Manchester United do currently sell Paul Pogba, I do believe Milinkovic-Savic is primarily a central midfielder, so mainly box to box. Can he also play as an attacking midfielder as well? Not too sure, but he has been at Lazio 4 years. Obviously, he scored 31 goals in 138 games and all that. So, in the majority of his 4 years with Lazio, he has mainly, done well. He has scored goals. He has created chances and all that. I do believe his work ethic is good. His tenacity, and that's really, really good. He signed a new deal with Lazio last October. So, he is, of course, under contract with them until 2023. So, obviously, there's been a lot of talks about him going on. But he's been relentlessly into a move to Manchester United, since last summer. I do believe under Jose Mourinho, where, Manchester United, of course, were currently, scouting the player, but he's another midfielder, that of course that Manchester United have been in for. Obviously, Sean Longstaff from Newcastle, I've already given you the latest news about him. I do believe now we have currently withdrawn our interest in Sean Longstaff, or we're going to withdraw our interest in Sean Longstaff, because obviously, Newcastle United have confirmed now, they've indicated basically that he's not for sale. Obviously, as it did get confirmed, obviously, Newcastle are demanding that they want in the excess around £50 million and all that. Basically, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did instruct Manchester United, to get a deal over the line for Sean Longstaff. Initially, we only value Sean Longstaff from 18-20 million pounds. So basically, Newcastle are demanding more than currently double that and all that. But I do believe, based on the extortionate amount Newcastle want for him, and £50 million is reasonable, but I think it's extortionate, for the player of Sean Longstaff's calibre and more level, because I do believe, Sean Longstaff, he's still he's the upcoming player. He's an upcoming player, is Sean Longstaff. He has got a bit of experience under his belt. I still say he's a bit inexperienced at the moment, because he only made his senior debut for Newcastle in December of last year and all that. And I think he did thrive under Rafa Benitez's guidance last season. He did put good performances out, and I think he did get a new contract with Newcastle. So he signed a 4-year contract, so he is under contract with them until 2022 and all that. Sky Sports actually reported out the other week saying that we'd held high-level talks with Newcastle, and it said reportedly Manchester United have not made any official bid. It did initially say we was orchestrating on putting around the £30 million bidding for Sean Longstaff. 21 years of age. I think primarily central midfielder. So obviously he's mainly a box-to-box midfielder and all that. And I thought initially we had been given a boost in our pursuit of Sean Longstaff. Following the departure of Rafa Benitez, of course, Newcastle lost Perez, but I do believe from a Newcastle perspective, they believe, that Sean Longstaff is committed to their club and all that. But like I said, he began his career with Newcastle, did Sean Longstaff, so he was a product of their academy. I think he also had loan spells with Kilmarnock and Blackpool. Obviously, he sustained a knee ligament injury in March, so he didn't play the last couple of months of last season due to his current injury he had sustained. But I do believe now we are going to withdraw our interest in the player. So I'll probably say more than likely now that Sean Longstaff, of course, is out of the equation. Obviously, Sean Sal Niguez, should I say, he was spoken about the other week and all that. So there has been a lot of midfielders on our current agenda, but that's one of the pivotal areas for me, of course, where Manchester United do currently need to strengthen up. So as you all know, tomorrow, like I did my preview today, Manchester United play Inter Milan tomorrow. It's the International Champions Cup, of course. Obviously, it's our third pre-season game. Obviously, it is in Singapore, and of course, it is venued at the National Stadium and all that. So hopefully we can continue our impressive form in pre-season. Obviously so far we have won 2 games in pre-season. Obviously beating Perth Glory last weekend by 2-0, and of course beating Leeds United comfortably on Wednesday by 4-0 and all that. So now we are basically in Singapore. I think Inter Milan, we've got Inter Milan tomorrow. I think Inter Milan could be currently a tough test, to be quite honest with you. Obviously it is 12:30 in the UK. I just currently forgot to remind you. The last time we actually played in Singapore, was actually, back in 2001, if I'm right, and that's actually, 18 years ago now, and all that. And I think at the time we did beat Team Singapore by 8 goals to 1. But I did confirm to you guys anyway, that Solskjaer did his press conference today. Obviously, I did give him an update about that on my last current video. He has given us team going ahead into the game. So like I did say, he's confirmed that Lukaku's not going to be playing because he isn't fit, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's obviously confirmed that Lukaku is struggling with his fitness and all that. Obviously, Lukaku has not yet played on tour, so obviously that's going to add more speculation in regards to his long-term future. We've been given, like I said, been given an update with Luke Shaw and all that, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has basically said that Luke Shaw had a decent training session yesterday and all that. So he probably said that Luke Shaw will be currently available. Luke Shaw didn't play against Leeds. Well, I don't know if he was fully fit or out, but he didn't play against Leeds. He initially sustained a hamstring injury in our first game against Perth Glory and all that. It turned out that his injury was not currently too severe, but obviously he didn't risk him against Leeds. So I do believe he's going to be available against Inter Milan, which is very, very good. Obviously being given news about David De Gea. Obviously he's not played on tour as yet, but I do believe David De Gea is going to be okay. Solskjaer did say this morning that David De Gea, should be well enough, to train today, because obviously, David De Gea is currently being ill and all that. He was actually supposed to be playing against Leeds, but obviously, it turned out, that he's obviously, being currently ill as David De Gea and all that. Also on the verge of signing a new contract, which is also, very, very good news. We do know Fred and Darwin obviously have come to Singapore now. Obviously, they didn't travel to Australia, like I said, due to family reasons. Dean Henderson has not travelled to Singapore, as we all thought he currently would have done. For me, I think Dean Henderson, needs to gain a bit of more experience. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has also confirmed, that some players, will get 45 minutes under their belt. Some will basically, get 60, maybe up to 70. But I do believe, we are not, orchestrating on, swapping 11 at half time, like we have done in our two previous games and all that. So, like I did say, I like pre-season anyway. I think it's meaningless, to be quite fair, but I like it because it gives players, the young players, chance, to get a bit of experience and that under their belt. Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, like I said, they've been very, very impressive in pre-season so far and all that. We've seen glimpses of what good signs they have proven to be this season so far in pre-season. But yeah, like I said, I've been very, very impressed so far. 6 goals scored in 2 games. No goals currently conceded. Sanchez, like I said, with Alexis Sanchez, he has not yet played in pre-season. I think Sanchez is currently, still injured at the moment. We've been trying to get rid of Alexis Sanchez for the majority of the summer, but obviously the club have found it very, very difficult to get rid of Sanchez. Obviously, reflecting on his substantial wages and all that. So I do believe Sanchez is going to continue playing his trade with Manchester United, going on into this season. But I'm very, very hopeful anyway. That Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, can get Manchester United back to glory and all that. Like I said, still lots needs to be currently addressed in the squad. But analysing it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United squad. Don't currently forget, because obviously, none of this squad's Ole Gunnar. Well, the majority of the squad, should I say, is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. There's only 2 players at this present time that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's at the moment, and that's obviously Daniel James and of course Wan-Bissaka and all that. But yeah, there's still lots needs to be currently addressed in the squad. With Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think he's actually believes that Alex Ferguson, transformed him and that into winning. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has got that proven pedigree as a player, because he was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years under Alex Ferguson and all that. He hasn't really got, he has got a bit of experience as a manager, but not really to the highest level and all that. He proven himself in his first 3 months since a manager with Manchester United and all that. He did win a couple of Norwegian titles with Moles. He has got a bit of experience as a manager as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I hope he's got all the abilities. He has got the stature, of course, to get Manchester United back in that commanding position and all that. But like they currently say, I don't think we'll be winning the league this season. I don't think, we'll be currently challenging for the league this season and all that. But there's only 3 weeks now remaining in this transfer window. Only 3 weeks remaining. So I think we need at least 2 more new additions to the current squad. But like I did say, we've got to sell players. I think also Darwin and Rojo have both got to leave the club, because, they've both endured difficult times at Manchester United. And I think mainly, with Darwin and, with Darwin, he hasn't really been given a chance. And with Rojo, I think his Manchester United career has been badly affected, reflecting on the amount of injuries he has currently sustained, because he has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. So, obviously he's injury prone. He's Rojo. He's just like Eric Bay, he's also become injury prone now and all that. But like I said, still lots needs to be currently addressed in the squad. I think quite a few of the experienced players so far have been disappointing in pre-season. I think Matt's been pretty disappointing. Some people said he played well against Leeds. Obviously, he was playing in that number 10 role. I think Matches has been very disappointing so far. But quite a few of the experienced players, of course, have been disappointing. I think Bay and Lindelof have done okay. Luke Shaw, obviously, he came off with an hamstring injury against Perth Glory, but Luke Shaw's still very imperative. He won the Player of the Year last season, reflecting on his impressive performances. But I think the majority of the youngsters have done really, really well. They've really stepped up. Chong's done really, really well. Greenwood and that's done really, really well. I think Rashford's played well. Martial, of course, has played okay. Jimmy Garner's played quite well. Tuan Zebe's played quite well. Quite a few of the young players currently played well. I don't think McTominay, of course, has done too bad. But like I said, and that Manchester United Milan game tomorrow, I won't be watching the game, so I'll have to have a glimpse at the highlights and all that, and then I obviously will give you my reaction on it and all that. But I do know, we are still the most successful club, one of the biggest clubs in the world and all that. We are the most successful club in England, historically. Won 13 Premier Leagues, obviously 20 all in all and all that. So we are still a massive club with a fantastic fan base. We've got a fantastic static stadium and all that. But like I said, we've been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years. So I did say, we've got to get our right players the right players United this summer, because obviously we didn't get anyone in January. Of course, we didn't get our last we didn't get our number 1 targets our last summer. So obviously, we haven't been competitive in the last couple of windows at least. So like I said, we've got 2 players so far on the board this summer, but we need to build on that without a shadow of a doubt. So the main part of this video was to give you the news about Harry Maguire. I do believe he's close to making a move to Manchester United, but I just think the valuation seems to be the stumbling block with Lukaku. I think he's close on making a move to Inter Milan and all that. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.